Imagine your in-laws showing up at your house saying, we need to have a little chat. So you welcome them in, you're kind of a little nervous, like, what is going on? Finally, they tell you, we've noticed that there's some tension between you and one of your brother-in-laws, and we don't like it. We need you to fix this right away because family peace is our top priority. So this happened to one of you, and you're reaching out to just share your story and get some insight. So Allison has been a part of this family, like her in-laws, for over 16 years. She's got 4 kids under 10. She's a busy mom. She gets along with her in-laws just fine. Everyone except this one brother-in-law. And he is just a piece of work, in her words. He shows up at every family event late. He has 0 boundaries, expects to be served. Like, he takes over your space. He stays beyond his welcome. He is just so mean. So all the time he is there, he's making cutting comments about your space, just how dirty your house is, how you parent. He tries to correct your parenting, what you're feeding your children. It's just not someone you'd want to hang out with. So it's very hard to be in a relationship with him. But in the beginning, she used to take it to her husband like, this is ridiculous. And he used to just dismiss it every time, saying, no, that's just Brian. That's just my brother. Just basically leave it alone, which she did. She would stuff, roll it off her back, and she thought she was doing a really good job, like just kind of keeping her distance. But I guess not, because her in-laws paid her a visit and said, you need to fix it. But that moment they said, Allison, this is on you. Like, you have to do this. She just got freaked out internally. Like, this is not the kind of guy she wants to go and confront. Like, he doesn't seem to care about anyone but herself. So she's internally just like, oh, her husband comes up and he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So her husband goes, talks to his brother, basically says, hey, Brian, things that you've said to Allison in the past have hurt her feelings. Just stop saying that stuff. The relationship will be just fine. It didn't end. The next gathering, Allison was just standing there, and her brother-in-law, Brian, comes up and says, if you weren't so sensitive, if you didn't take everything so serious, this relationship would be just fine. Something in his tone, the way he approached her, something was different, and it caused something to flip inside Allison. And from that moment on, she started having severe panic attacks. Like, on the way to events at her in-laws' house where Brian was going to be there, she would just start having, just like wild panic attacks to the point where she had to stop going to these events. So she took a full year off from, seeing her in-laws, and she got herself into therapy because she had to, get control of the panic attacks. So she did that. And after a year of being away, she decided, okay, I think I'm ready to extend this olive branch. I've kind of figured out my stuff in therapy. So she threw an olive branch out and invited Brian and his family to their daughter's birthday party. She's thinking it's been a year, he'll be on his best behavior, and there's a time boundary. It's from 1 to 3. No big deal. But then Brian, he showed up an hour and 45 minutes late. So he shows up late, but luckily Allison's mother-in-law went right up to him and said, so glad you're here, but just remember the party ends at 3. To which Brian shouted to everyone in the house, like, how embarrassing, shouted to everyone in the house, okay, kids, I guess you have 20 minutes to play before we're kicked out. Oh, it just crushed Allison. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm the one doing all this work. I had to be in therapy, and then you come into our home after a year, and this is what you do? Like, So that's what she's sharing with you. Like, what is this? And I just don't even know what I'm working with here. Okay. My first question is, when I was reading your story, is I wonder if your in-laws also paid Brian a visit. Like, did they sit down with him, like, for a cozy chat and say, you need to fix this with Allison. Like, family peace is our top priority. Did they have the same conversation? Because if they didn't, that's so unfair that they're placing it all on you. But it is also highly likely that they never had that conversation with him, because sometimes families will decide, this is how we operate, and really they're protecting the most dysfunctional member, and they want outsiders to just go along with it. And maybe they're picking up on the fact that, like, you're not bending enough and you're making, Brian feel uncomfortable. You need to change, versus like Brian, shut your mouth. So that was just my first question, is like, oh my gosh, and like kind of how unfair that it feels like the whole family, even your husband, you know, he doesn't emotionally understand the impact it's having on you. He's also just saying like, that's just Brian. So everyone's kind of protecting Brian, and it doesn't feel like anyone's protecting you. Like she said, her husband has been so supportive, which I think is amazing. Like he supports her through action. But what she said is, I really wish he understood emotionally what I'm going through. And that's a basic human need. We all want to feel emotionally understood, especially in our romantic relationship. We want to feel understood. So this is what I would do. I would start off, since you are already established with a therapist, I would just invite my husband in as a guest. So this isn't couples work. This is simply him coming in so that a neutral third party can try to explain to him like my emotional experience, why even though it doesn't bother him, it sure as heck bothers me. So really get us on the same page so that I feel understood by my husband. Also teach him how to support and protect me when we're at these events. Like, should I feel comfortable to go again? Because another thing she said is, because my husband thinks they're all jokes, he can never help me in the moment. Like I'm all alone, which I believe that's probably why you started having panic attacks, because you do feel like there's nobody here to protect me. I think that is a very big deal. I think it's so good that you went in to therapy, because in my opinion, when we start having panic attacks, that is like our nervous system saying, like, I don't feel safe here. I don't know why, but something's going on and we need to get this checked out. So that's good that you went in. So I'd have the therapist do all that. The other thing I would suggest, and this is something I had to do with my own family, and I'm not minimizing the impact his words are having on you. I am trying to give you back your power. So I have a family member that I have always wanted to have a close relationship with. Really, I wanted to have the most special relationship with this person. And they were always like, they were fine for a while, but every event they would start digging at me. And so not only would the event just be ruined for me once they would make their cutting comments to like smash me down, but then days after I would be so sad, because it's like, all I want to do is have a good relationship with you, and you're the only one in our family that I can have this type of relationship with, and yet you're so mean to me. Like, what have I ever done to you? So after years of going through this, I don't know if it was my parents or just growing up, but I remember taking a step back and wondering, okay, where are these comments coming from? And it ended up where I finally realized, okay, they're coming from a place of pain. And so it was less about me and more about what was going on in that family member's life and what they didn't have going on versus what they wanted, which was what I had. And once I realized, okay, these comments actually have nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with their misery, their suffering. I had so much compassion and empathy for that family member that it took away the zing, it took away the cutting, it took away just like the impact it used to have on me. And every time I would hear it, I'd just be like, that's so sad. Like, that's so sad that this family member is so miserable that in order for them to feel okay, they're trying to cut me down. Like, that sucks. So it really gave me my power back. It didn't impact me nearly as much at family gatherings, nor like days afterwards. So again, I'm not dismissing what he's doing to you, but I'm also saying there are ways that you can look at what he's saying and really try to understand, like, where is that coming from? Maybe it's not from a place of misery. Maybe it's not from a place of pain. Maybe it's not from a place of like jealousy. Maybe it's just a place of emotional immaturity. And it kind of seems like he fits the bill with everything you've described. So even reading like Dr. Lindsay Gibson's book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, even though he's not your parent, you'd still get a lot of insight. And maybe that would just kind of empower you to just get a different perspective and approach or even look at what he's saying in a different way. Because really, when you think about it, like, what kind of person makes comments like that? And should we let those types of people dictate our mood? So those are some things I would do. What would you do?